A lot of people struggle with it because it feels so restrictive that it almost feels like impossible or like not sustainable. And so for me, what I think about is I don't think about it as I can't ever have bread or I can't ever have beer, because gluten really is my biggest one. Dairy is also pretty bad for me as well. But, for me, it's like I see those foods now and I realize that for me to be Emily, for me to not struggle, like I struggle really badly with depression when I don't eat the right way. And I know so many people that do, and their only answer is antidepressants. And I get that that sometimes can be the answer. And I'm not saying that all of it is bad, but there's so much more to it than that. And if you can really figure out that certain foods are really start to connect, that the foods you eat, the foods that are broken down, actually will start to heal your brain, it will change your life because it changed mine. And I am not the person I am today. Like 6 years ago, I was a totally different person. I can't even tell you. I was depressed. I was unhappy. I'll get emotional if I get too into it, but it's true. It's like I would not be the person I am to help the clients that I'm helping if I did not eat this certain way. And that's what helps me keep on top of this diet. It's what helps me say no to bread because I know who I am without it. And I know it sounds so crazy because it's just a piece of bread. People don't really know like how in depth that piece of bread can be. And I really do want to say just quickly, gluten is not what it used to be. And I know a lot of people think this gluten-free thing is crappy, or this gluten-free thing is like such a joke. But gliadin, the gluten, the protein, it's denatured in a way that it causes a really severe immune reaction in our body. So trust me when I say that I just think nobody should be on it, and it's tough, but there's alternatives and there's just ways if you realize what it would do to your brain, I think you would be okay with being gluten-free. The webinar, there's a link as soon as I'm finished the webinar. If you stay to the end, I'll post all the information. It's on my website, emilyschramm.com. More info soon. Do you guys have any questions about number one, about nutrition? I want to do a quick recap. That's my number one thing to start healing your brain is look at your gut health. And, I'm so glad to hear that, Sam. Look at your gut health and figure out how food is digesting. I think that that's the biggest thing. If you're not sure where to go with gut health, do the webinar. I'll send you this long questionnaire. You're going to get a symptom burden analysis graph. It's awesome. I really want you to do it. I don't know what pre-work is, Trevor. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Lee. That's so awesome. Okay, we're going to move to number 2. My favorite. Number 1, nutrition. Number 2, exercise. Oh, wait, hold on. Yes, I agree, Jennifer. Okay, number 2, exercise. This is my favorite piece of advice. You guys know I love exercise. I didn't know how much I loved exercise or why I loved exercise so much until I learned all this stuff and it made sense. Your body, oh God, there's a great podcast, Joe Rogan and Rhonda Patrick. If you don't listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, you need to. He's amazing. I aspire to be Joe Rogan. I want to be on his podcast so bad. He did a great interview with Rhonda Patrick really recently, and it's just fascinating. And she actually broke it down so well because I just love this. You all know that serotonin is released when you exercise. So that's number 1. We need to help the neurotransmitters in our brain be as plethora. So we need as much as we need. Like, what am I trying to say? We need a plethora of them. We're already depleted in them. How can we increase them? Exercise is number 1. When you go on a run, when you lift weights, nobody walks into a gym even if they don't want to, and walks out mad that they did it. Unless it was, I guess I can't say that. Has anyone experienced that? I haven't experienced that, but it could exist. You always feel better after you exercise, and there's science to it. Your brain releases chemicals that say, I'm happier because of this. So you have to exercise. If you don't know how to exercise, you join my webinar, I'm going to teach you how to exercise. I'm going to give you 5 workouts, or just go to my YouTube. My YouTube has so many, follow my Instagram. I have so many things for you. Get an MPAC. TheMPAC.com, which finally released, thank God. But what was really cool in this Rhonda Patrick, I want to just say this really fast before I get off on another tangent. What Rhonda Patrick said is that this can happen so often for people is that tryptophan is what converts to serotonin, right? And if it doesn't convert because we're too stressed, then it actually releases a toxin in our brain that causes more stress. And then our body can't fight it. And one way to fight it is exercise. So it's not just let me exercise to feel better. It's like if I'm having a hard time converting this tryptophan to more serotonin, if I'm having that kind of toxicity in my brain, your body can fight it by moving more. How cool is that? Danny, I'm so glad you love I'm so glad you love my workouts. I love my workouts too. And then the last thing I'll say about it is exercise increases neuroplasticity. And that just means that more neurons are firing. And I don't just mean exercise with your body, I mean exercise with your brain. And I'm taking Spanish lessons because I went to Costa Rica and I didn't learn as much Spanish as I should have. And I was mad at myself because I'm in Costa Rica. Like, Emily, you should learn how to, I can have somewhat of a conversation, but I need to learn more. I want to be able to like live on my own in Spain if I want to. And I started taking a Spanish lesson class today, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool because I feel like my brain is firing more, and it's not just with Spanish. It's like I'm having more ideas. I'm being more creative in my life, in my business, and it's because I'm making new neurons by learning new things. So exercise your body, but also exercise your brain. Duolingo, yes, I love Duolingo. And so find something new to learn. Play a new sport, learn a language, like challenge yourself. I would love to do a TED Talk on this one day. 2 things on my to-do list: Joe Rogan podcast and a TED Talk on neuroplasticity of your brain, creativity. See, like my brain's on fire. Like I can't even handle it. My brain did not used to work this well, guys. I swear to God, your brains are going to be on fire by the time you're done with this webinar. It's going to be awesome. Do you guys have any questions about exercise? That's number 2. You still did great. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. Yeah, Rosetta Stone, learn something. Duolingo is amazing. All of that. That's number 2. Exercising brain, body, all of it. Well, if your muscles aren't recovering, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So you're working out too much. So you need to look at your nutrition and your protein intake and your recovery time, which involves sleep and supplements, which we can talk about after this. Number 3. This one gets nerdy, and this one is why I want everyone to do my webinar, because it's so individual. Blood sugar. What do I mean by blood sugar? Okay, I have some questions for you. I'm going to throw out here. These are questions I'll send to you if you do the webinar. I know I keep saying, I'm going to stop saying that word. I'm annoyed at myself for saying it so much. Okay, are you awake in a few hours after falling asleep? Do you crave sugar? All my clients. Do you binge or excessively eat? Do you have an excessive appetite? Do you crave coffee or sugar in the afternoon? Do you get a headache if meals are skipped or delayed? Do you get irritable before meals? Do you get shaky if you miss a meal? Do you get hangry? Do these sound familiar? Do you ever get tired after you eat? All of these are signs that your body is not regulating blood sugar well. And so what happens with our body, we eat, our blood glucose goes up, and insulin is secreted for our blood sugar to come back down, because our body needs to stay at a stable blood sugar level. And if it goes too high, our body has to get it down as fast as possible. That's just intuitively what we do. The crazy thing is we overeat sugar, and now our bodies are all fucked. And so what do we need to do? 1, you have to eat meals that are satisfying. I don't like snacking throughout the day. I don't think it's good for you, because all it does is tell your body that you're burning sugar as fuel. And we want to be fat burners. And I talk about this in my 21-day challenge all the time, that eating more fat will fill you up for longer. And so 3 meals a day is like there's studies coming out that say 2. For blood sugar in general, I say 3 to 4 meals a day to start regulating blood sugar. And every meal should have a good source of protein. And this is why it's sometimes tough for vegetarians or vegans especially. And it should have a really good source of fat, because fat is what keeps you full, and it keeps your brain firing and your brain healthy. And we've been so fat depleted that our brains don't even know how to function. And we're so dependent on sugar to make up for that. And then depending on how much activity level you have, then we add the carbohydrates. And that's what your meal should look like. And you'll get, yes, fat is fuel, and you'll get a sample meal plans, but I just think that that's the biggest step that you can take for stabilizing blood sugar is knowing that fat, the more fat you have, the less insulin, you don't have to produce insulin to lower fat because fat doesn't spike your blood sugar. And that's why it's so powerful. That's why these ketogenic diets and these high fat diets and these paleo diets are so effective if you are digesting fat. And that's when we come back to number one, and that's why we're going to talk about this in the questionnaire, that a lot of people, I was one of them, I went full on paleo, but I didn't have a gallbladder that even knew how to digest fat. And some people don't have gallbladders, and then they can't break down fat, and then we cause gut trauma. So that's why digestion is so important. It's not just, oh, I'm going to eat all the fat. I want to make sure that you can digest your fat to make sure you can utilize it. So that's blood sugar. This is where adrenal issues can come into play. Cortisol is our backup fuel. So when we're stressed, if our blood sugar is too low, if we have high stress because we got stuck in traffic or we're late to work, cortisol is excreted. And cortisol has one job and one job only. It is to make glucose. And so you start craving sugar, you have all these adrenal issues, you start losing hormones if you have too long of adrenal issues. It's just the cascade of events that happens because of our stressed out lives is insane. And this is so cool. I talked about this a lot in my adrenal videos, and we're going to talk about it more in the webinar. Interleukin 6, which is the cytokine that is inflammatory, it can ruin your, oh my God, the way cortisol ruins our body, it destroys our hippocampus, it causes gut permeability, so our gut starts to get even more inflamed, even if we're digesting food correctly. Higher stress now all of a sudden starts this new cycle, and it affects our brain. And so it's just really important for you guys to know that you could have stress from your life, but you could also have stress because you're not eating consistently, and the meals that you're eating are full of sugar, and they're short burn fuels that run out quickly, and your body will make up for it with cortisol, and it's this vicious cycle. Nancy, oh, let me correct that. No, not having a gallbladder makes it difficult to digest fat, not to burn fat. Digesting fat happens because of some enzymes that are released from your pancreas and then from bile from your gallbladder. So if you don't have a gallbladder, sometimes fat digestion is a little iffy. So there's definitely ways to help with that. It's pretty cool, actually, with nutritional therapy, what I've learned, but you can definitely still burn fat. We just have to make sure the fat you're eating is being digested. And there's lots of questions that I will ask you guys in the webinar for that. Okay, any questions on blood sugar and cortisol and adrenals? Oh, I'm so glad you're liking this, Jennifer. I nerd out so hard, and I just love that I have fellow nerds that like this stuff, because you guys know I love working out, and I'll give you all the workouts you want, but this is like, if you can't tell, this is kind of my favorite thing to talk about. Okay, any questions of blood sugar? This is why I'm paleo. This is why I believe in this high-fat diet. It's so important because it stabilizes your energy levels, and it stops the need for cortisol. Oh yeah, come to Denver. Oh God, you guys are just stoked. I love it. Oh, thank you. This brow makes me feel like a superhero, so I wore it today. Okay, so if you have high cortisol, Anna, great question. There's two patterns you can be in, and we'll really dig into, don't let me forget about the diabetes question. Hi, Mike. Oh my God, guys, Mike is my designer, and he just finished or is finishing the strength programs for you guys, these six-week strength programming cycles for you that I've been talking about. They look so good. Mike, you're magic. Okay, high cortisol. You can have high cortisol, and then you can have so high of cortisol for so long that it becomes low cortisol. And that's when we get into adrenal dysfunction. This is what people call adrenal fatigue. It's very specific. So this webinar that you're going to do, you're going to figure out what pattern you're in, because I don't like giving blanket statements if you can't tell. High cortisol, adaptogenic herbs are amazing. So rhodiola, ashwagandha, ginseng, all of those are so great for high cortisol. Vitamin C is really good. I have a supplement called Adaptocrine, and this is something we'll talk about in the webinar. Those are really great. And then I also use this cream called phosphatidylserine. It's called Adrenocom, and that's also a really great thing for high cortisol. We'll dig more into this. And how to digest. So depending on what your digestion issues are, we can talk about that after. Let's get to number 4. This is where we're going to get really nerdy. And if you guys hang with me, I feel like I should reward you with like some discount or something because I want you guys to know this information so badly because it changed my life. It's currently changing my life. Okay, so I already talked about how nutrition is everything. There's a big piece of this, and this is why I want it to kind of all tie together for you guys, for you to realize how much nutrition is tied into serotonin and dopamine and GABA